Hey guys, it's Susie with Miles in the Woods, and typically I spend my days in the shop building things, but I also really love to buy old things, restore them, and then resell them. I've restored typewriters, coffee grinders, and lots of cast iron. So this week I have found a cast iron auction somewhat near us. It's definitely going to be an overnight trip. But I thought that I would take you guys along to show how I prep for an auction, what I do at an auction, and then how I work to get things cleaned up to resell. Before I ever decide to go to an auction, there's a lot of research that needs to be done ahead of time. First and foremost, you need to know as much as you can about what it is that you're hoping to buy and resell. For instance, in this auction, it's a lot of Griswold cast iron, and so I need to know as much as I can about all of the different logos of Griswold, which is more collectible, which is less desirable. That way, when I am going to research it, I know that having a heat ring is going to affect the value. I know that having a slanted logo is going to affect the value. I know that having different markings shows different years, and different years are more collectible. This is really important to know, and a lot of people, if they don't know a ton about the particular thing you're looking for, will miss those details and then misvalue the piece. After I've learned as much as I can about what it is I'm hoping to buy and sell, I'm going to research the auction house. Does it have a good reputation? What are the rules of the auction house? Does it have a buyer's premium? This particular one I'm going to has an 8% buyer's premium, which means that they add 8% to the price of everything that you bid on. The third thing to look at is how much is travel going to cost. If it's just up the road, you're really out a little bit of gas and time. In this case, I'm going to be driving about 5 hours. It's going to be overnight, and so I will need to add those costs in. The fourth thing to look at is how much is it going to cost to sell it? Am I going to sell it online at a platform and they are going to charge me a percentage? Am I going to sell it in person, or maybe in a antique booth where there is a premium as well? You need to factor all that in before you calculate how much you're going to buy a piece for. And then the last thing, of course, to research is what you think that you can sell a piece for. Now, this is, of course, isn't a guarantee, but you can look online and make an educated guess about what you think you can sell it for. And so I thought that today I would show you how I do this research and how I make these calculations. First thing that I do when I'm considering going to an auction is I pore over the photos. Now, there are several different types of auctions, and each is going to have a varying level of exactness in their photos. There's the type of auctions that are solely online, and so they're going to have very exact lot numbers and a picture or two per piece so that you can do the best decision making possible. Then you're going to have auction houses that are going to be both online and in person. And again, it's going to be exact. They will have exact lot numbers. They will walk through those lot numbers in order, and have a photo or two per piece. The last type of auction is going to be like this, where you're going to have a picture of a table that has a lot of stuff for sale. They will not have exact lot numbers. They're not going to be sold in any type of order. And you have to put your detective hat on and gain as much information from the photos that you have in order to make the best decisions possible ahead of time in the auction. So what I'm going to do is I will literally zoom in and get as much information from this piece as I can. I'm going to keep an Excel sheet, and I'm going to write Griswold large block logo number 10 on that Excel sheet, and then over here Griswold griddle number 8, and here's an ashtray. I will write each one of these on an Excel sheet and keep a list of exactly what I see in each photo. Now, there is a bit of a gamble to this because you can't see the inside of that pot. I can't see that that lid exactly matches that pot. I can't see the inside of these skillets to know that the condition is good, but I can make an inference based on what I see. For instance, this small one here is a small block logo number 5. It definitely seems to have some kind of pitting damage that I just can't tell the extent of from this photo. So I'm going to keep a list of everything on Excel and make notes of any condition issues or any anything that I see, so that as I make a decision about the value of each piece, I will have that to reference from. The first place I go to look when trying to find a value for a piece is eBay. Now, eBay sale prices are typically lower than what I sell things for, but it's great because on eBay, it's really easy to see the sold prices for things, not just what people are hoping to sell. So if I'm looking for the value for a Griswold large block logo number 8, I'm going to type that in. And then these are prices or pieces that are currently for sale. And you can see they range from $239 to $89 to $134. All of these are the hopefuls. This is what people hope to sell things for. But what you can do is click on the Advanced tab right here, right there by the search bar, and then scroll down and you can click on Sold Items. So it'll look for a Griswold large logo, and it'll give you all of the pieces that have recently sold, and you can see what they've sold for. Now this is not just skillets, so I will look and see ones that are similar to one that I hope to sell and look at the values. So you see it sold for $58, $36. That is not similar, that's a different type. $99, $76. So these are all comparable prices I can look at, and I know that it sold for that. And so I will add that to my Excel sheet. Typically I'll go, for myself, I will look at the higher of these and make that be something that I know that this piece will sell for. The next place that I'm going to go to look for values is on Etsy. So again, you're just going to type in as specific of a search item as you can. So Griswold 8 cast iron large logo, and wade through all the pieces to find pieces that are similar to what you're hoping to sell. And so here, these are again for sale prices, not sold. And so you have to be really choosy about which sellers you look at. You want to choose people that have sold a good bit of cast iron and have a good rating. So there's one for $159. Let's see if we can find another one. There is another one for $129, $160, and all of these people have sold, around 100 or so pieces of cast iron. And so I think I can take the risk and price similarly as them. So the last place that I'm going to go to look for a value is just a straight Google search. I'm going to type in Griswold large logo number 8 and go to the shopping tab. And this is going to show where just a list of everything. It's going to have Etsy, eBay, and every other platform that is available. And I can look at what people are trying to sell similar pans for and sort of add that to my information bank. And again, I have to take it with a grain of salt because anybody can list anything for any price. And so I'm going to aim probably for the middle of these pieces price-wise. So I'm going to do this for each. So I'm going to research each piece on my list, and then from there move forward in our information gathering stage. So after I have done my research and figured out exactly what I believe I can sell each piece for online, that's what this is, I figure out exactly what I'm going to have to take home after the sell. So for me, I figure it's going to cost me about 15% in advertising and selling fees to sell each piece. Now this is a pretty high estimation, but I'd rather estimate high and have more in my pocket at the end. So that's what this piece is. And so after I figure out exactly what I believe I can get after the sale, I can calculate what I'm willing to buy each piece for. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it to go to the auction if I can't make money. So I calculate percentage-wise what I'm willing to buy each piece for. This column on the left is 50% of the take-home money. So that's a 50% margin, and this is 40% margins. So I would rather stay here, but I'm not going to go past my 40% margins. So when I am at the auction, I will print this whole sheet out, and when it gets to, say, the 7 large block logo with the slant heat ring, I know that I'm not going to spend more than $55 on that piece. If it gets above that, I have an automatic off switch. That way I don't get caught up in the moment of an auction and just start bidding so that I can win. So once we have figured out exactly what we're willing to pay for stuff, it's time to take a hard look at the numbers. This particular auction is about 5 hours away, and it will require an overnight stay. So I believe we're going to be in it for $300 before I ever buy the first piece. So I need to take a hard look and see if I believe that I can make enough money to not just break even, but to make a good profit even after taking that out. So with a 50% markup on these pieces, that means that I need to buy $600 worth of cast iron to even break even at this auction. And I want to not just break even, but make money. So do I believe that there's enough for sale, and that this is an auction that I can have the opportunity to buy enough to make a good profit? And in this case, after looking at the numbers and looking what's for sale and knowing that auction house, I believe it's worth the risk. So the kids and I are going to load up tomorrow, and we're going to head up and see how we do. It's always a good time. There's a competitive, adventurous spirit, and so we are excited to go. We're going to take you guys along with us, and for good or bad, it's going to be a good time, and we're really excited. So with all that being said, I hope that this video gave you a couple of tips to try as you prepare for an auction, or at the very least gave you a nudge to go out and try it for yourself. I can guarantee you it's always an adventure. If you go, let me know how you do, and until next time, God bless.